weekend in terms of horse racing. First race we're going to talk about is the Fighting Fifth Hurdle. 7 declared this morning, and we have some real great horses in this race. First off is the favourite, Binocular. Drifted slightly, why is that?
Yeah, well, I suppose, Nicola, it's his first race of the season. He was very impressive winning the BoyleSports.com International last year. Supposed to be at Cheltenham, called off, ran at Ascot, and then ran a cracker in the Champion Hurdle where he finished third behind Punjabi and Celestial Halo. He's owned by JP McManus, trained by Nicky Henderson, and the champion jockey AP McCoy will be in the saddle. I'm a big fan of this horse, but the horse that I think is going to give him most to do is Solwit. Trained by Charles Burns here in Ireland. Very impressive horse, won over 2.5 miles at Aintree, then went and won the Champion Hurdle at Punchestown where he actually beat Punjabi, and then on a seasonal reappearance he beat a horse called Hurricane Fly quite easily. So Solwit has done nothing wrong whatsoever. He's the 11 to 8 second favourite, and then there is a big gap. I think it's 12 to 1 Sublimity, of course a former Champion Hurdle winner as well, but I think the top two in the market are going to dictate this race. To be honest, I think it's a bit of a flip of a coin in terms of who's going to win it. Solwit, maybe just because he's got that run under his belt ahead of Binocular, might just have that little bit of match fitness if you want, but Binocular is pure class, and I know that they were very disappointed in not winning the Champion Hurdle last year. It saved us a fortune. We would have had to give an extra 200 grand bonus if a horse wins the BoyleSports International and then of course goes on to win the Champion Hurdle. But I think Solwit might just have that race fitness, and for a little bit of value, maybe the 11 8 on Solwit is the way to go. But Binocular, he will have his followers. He's even money, and I'm sure people will be lumping on Binocular.
Everyone backs the favourite in every
Yeah, I mean everyone does back the favourite, but I think actually these two might get closer in the odds come the off time of the race on Saturday. Maybe 5 to 4 your pick. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it at the moment. Binocular is favourite at the present time, but Solwit, I do believe Charles Burns, they're a stable that likes to have a bet, as does JP McManus, but I think these two will be there come March as well. It's going to be a cracking Champion Hurdle trial.
Next race we're going to talk about is the Hennessy Gold Cup. Denman is the favourite. Can he mirror his performance from 2007 when he also won the Gold Cup, especially under Ruby Walsh?
Yeah, listen, last year Sam Thomas took the mount and he came in for a bit of stick, and probably rightly so, but Ruby's a different kettle of fish altogether. The one question mark about Denman, he did have a bit of a dicky heart, and it's an awful lot to ask a horse to come back, carry top weight in the Hennessy after having those problems with his heart. However, he ran an absolute blinder in the Gold Cup last year to finish second behind Cauto Star. Many had written him off, and he showed a lot of guts and character and determination. He's a 7 to 2 favourite and deserves to be favourite. But of the others, you're looking at a horse that may be as well handicapped in this Hennessy, and one that does stick out for me by quite some way is State of Play.
I've seen a lot of money for State of Play, so obviously the punters are getting involved there. Yeah,
I mean, but he is a horse that has been backed. I believe he was as big as 25s or 33s. He's now into around about a 12 to 1 shot actually at the moment. 16s into 12s today. He finished fourth in the Grand National last year behind Monmouth. He looked as if he had every chance, about 2 out, but just kind of finished the race off at the same pace. Stepping back in trip here on Saturday, it will be a testing race, and I think when you're looking for a race like this, you want to find a little bit of value.
What about Barbershop, the Queen's horse?
Yeah, Barbershop
didn't impress me yet. Didn't do great at Royal Ascot, but he had his second favourite in the betting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was well fancied in the Gold Cup last year. I think he finished 7th. The one question mark I have about Barbershop is, will he actually get this trip? In my eyes, I think this trip might be a step too far for him. It's owned by the Queen, so it would be a very popular winner, certainly at Newbury, if Barbershop was to win, but not for me. I can't have him. Of the others in the race, Kappa Blue would certainly have a chance as well. The other Paul Nicholls horse, What a Friend, is a very interesting runner as well. He's right down the bottom of the weights. Sam Thomas has come in for the ride. Of course, Sam has left Paul Nicholls' stable, and wouldn't it make a story if Sam Thomas was to be on board a Paul Nicholls horse and win the Hennessy? But I'm going to stick with State of Play. Because it's a quarter the odds the first 4, so I would still stick with State of Play each way. He's 12 to 1 now. I think he'll be a little bit bigger on the day, maybe 14s or even 16s. I do think they're going to back Denman on the day, because it's like one of those races everyone will want to be on the favourite. It would be a remarkable achievement, but I think the weight might just catch him out.
Chelsea travel to the Emirates to play the Gunners. Two massive sides. It's going to be a tough one to break these down, but you know, Gunners lost against Sunderland. They'll probably have to pick up the pace now.
Yeah, they certainly will have to pick up the pace, and they'll need to beat Chelsea if they want to have any realistic ambitions of winning the Premier League. I'm a big fan of Arsenal. They play a lovely brand of football, probably the way it should be played. Chelsea, some say they're boring, but they certainly know how to get results. It was a fantastic away win in Porto in the week in the Champions League, and it just goes to show you the strength and depth of their squad.
Van Persie will be missed for the team, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big miss for Arsenal. Van Persie, he started the season really well too, but I think in Arshavin and Fabregas, in Eduardo and Rosicky, and players like this, Arsenal have got players who can break down Chelsea. Yeah, and Chelsea's back four is not as stable as it used to be. Peter Cech is not the keeper he once was. He hasn't got over that injury, and I fancy Arsenal at 6-4. I'm going to go with Arsenal for the home win because I think the whole league needs it. If Chelsea were to win, the league is almost over in terms of Arsenal's point of view. So I'm hoping that the Gunners can beat Chelsea at the Emirates, where they've got a 100% league record this year. So they are very strong at home. 6-4 for me, an Arsenal victory.